These are some of the more than 30 countries that have now provided military assistance to Ukraine. The sheer amount of military kit being sent is quite staggering. The US announced last week it's sending $800 million of arms, including self-propelled howitzers, armoured vehicles and Soviet-era Mi-17 helicopters whisked out of Afghanistan, and more is on the way. The Pentagon is also reported to be sending Russian-built MiG-29 fighters, part of a batch it bought from Moldova back in 1997 to stop them being sold to Iran. Analysts think some will be flown in combat, while others will be broken for spare parts to keep Ukraine's air force in the fight.
Russian aircraft, in principle, can outgun Ukrainian aircraft, even the Fulcrums that the Ukrainians may get. But nevertheless, there is something to be said for having a bigger number of aircraft, because the Russians aren't flying their aircraft particularly well, and they're not flying in particularly coordinated ways. So although the Ukrainians are either equal or can be outmatched by some of the Russian aircraft, it will still make quite a difference, because they've kept their airspace open over 2 months. If they had more aircraft, who's to say they can't keep it more or less open for a longer period during the duration of this war?
Norway is another country sending more weapons. It's already provided 4,000 anti-tank missiles. Now it's also dispatched 100 of its Mistral short-range air defence missiles. In fact, you name it, countries are sending it. Amongst other things, Belgium has provided thousands of automatic rifles and machine guns. Finland has sent all-important rations to keep Ukraine's troops fed and watered. And the Czechs have sent Soviet-era tanks and infantry fighting vehicles. Japan has sent Ukraine bulletproof vests and winter uniforms, while Spain has dispatched more than 1,000 grenade launchers and 20 tons of medical supplies. Even South Korea has donated military equipment and uniforms. Canada has also sent a lot of weaponry, including rocket launchers and grenades, plus $1 million to help Ukraine buy commercial satellite imagery to map the battlefield. Ottawa is now promising even more heavy artillery. Even traditionally neutral Sweden has provided 10,000 anti-tank weapons.
The Netherlands have given all of their PZH-2000s, the Panzerhaubitze tracked howitzer, which is the best in the world. Longest range, it outranges the Russian systems, it's got a rapid rate of fire. If the Ukrainians had enough of that, they could really make a difference. They could really make a dent in this artillery dominance which the Russians have on the battlefield itself in the Donbass. But they need, as it were, hundreds of items, not dozens of items, and it's got to get literally about 1,200 kilometers from the Polish border into the battle region, whereas the Russians have only got to bring their stuff 300 kilometers. So the artillery duel will be key to this equipment competition, and at the moment the Ukrainians need much more artillery and all the things that go with it, and the range finding systems, the drones that allow for range finding, and the battlefield radars, which are able to pinpoint for counter battery fire. All of those things they need, and they need them very, very quickly.
The UK, of course, has been one of the biggest providers, sending anti-tank weapons, javelins and anti-ship missiles, and now promising to send Stormer anti-aircraft vehicles as well that can fire Starstreak, a highly effective laser-guided surface-to-air system. Germany too is upping its supplies. Along with Strela anti-aircraft missiles, it's now sending a large consignment of armoured vehicles. This evolving battle in the Donbass will reveal whether this is enough for Ukraine to hold the line, or whether, even faced with this firepower, Putin's army will prevail. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.